Hi, everybody. This is Bob Iacino along with Mike Arnold. This is an afternoon path chat covering the futures markets for June 7th. Quiet day as expected. A lot of leaks about the Comey testimony turned into a release of Comey's full statement. By Comey, I'm talking about former FBI director fired by Donald Trump, James Comey, who's testifying before the Senate Intelligence Committee tomorrow. The full statement of Comey's prepared remarks were released. Essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, the market was hoping that there would not be inflammatory comments, and it looks like there's not going to be. It basically looks like he's going to say that nothing that Donald Trump said rose to the level of obstruction of justice. However, he did get asked for loyalty. Trump brought it up multiple times. Apparently, the first time he brought it up, James Comey claims he just stared, didn't move, and didn't say a word. He also says that he felt compelled to document in detail every one of the 9 meetings that he had with Donald Trump. He may have had more meetings than that, but after those particular meetings, he felt a need to document in detail what was going on. But still, the market is viewing this as not disastrous. The Dow Jones rose 37.4 points, or 0.18%. The S&P 500 gained 3.8 points, or 0.16%. And the NASDAQ added 22.3 points, or just over 0.25%, 0.36%. Wall Street's energy sector fell 2%. We did have the EIA energy stockpile numbers, crude oil stockpile numbers rather. Natural gas comes out tomorrow. And the market was looking for a 3.5 million barrel decline in crude oil stocks, and they got a 3.3 million barrel build in crude oil. Definitely bullish. This is the worst day for crude oil since March. Gasoline inventories also rose by 3.3 million barrels, with the market expecting a 580,000 barrel decline. We should see polling numbers out of the UK pretty soon. They're going to the polls in a few hours. We'll see them definitely after the Path Chat. Part of the reason I wanted to get the Path Chat out, because bits and pieces of the data from the UK election are not going to be important. It has to be the actual result of the election. In terms of economic data that came out today, we talked about the weak German factory orders. We had Canadian building permits month over month for April come out. They disappointed as well, down 0.2% versus an expectation of up 3%. That was a month over month number. We talked about crude oil inventories. We didn't really have much else. We had U.S. consumer credit be a little bit lower than expected. That's about it in terms of data. We're waiting on the election. We're waiting on Australian trade balance. We're waiting on a couple of Japanese numbers, including Japan's gross domestic product annualized today. That'll come out about 6:50 p.m. And again, the main thing tonight, UK election. So in the meantime, let me turn it over to Mike to let you know what he's seeing on the charts. Mike, it is all yours.
Thank you, Bob. So let's get a quick update for this evening. Switching over to the Dow futures, came back, found some support as we've discussed many times now at the 8 EMA and closed higher. So on a continued rally tomorrow, watch for about 21,190 as the first level of resistance. Next key area is about 21,200 to 2,005 or 205. Then we look for a retest of the most recent highs, 21,227. If we eventually get through there, 21,321 is next key level up. If we do get below this 8, which is coming in right now about 21,111, you could see a drop to 21,045 and then 21,000 about 025 area. If we get through that, next major key support is the bottom of the rotation zone, coming in roughly right at 21,000 right now. Over to the S&P. S&P also finding support at that 8 EMA. So on a rally tomorrow, watch for first resistance coming about 2,435. Then we'll be watching for 2,438. Then a retest of the most recent highs, 2,440 area. If we get through that, 2,451, next key level. If we do go back down and get through today's lows, coming in about 24.24, Next key thing would be return to the 25% gain level, 24.15. Then if we break through there, 24.09 area. Finally, over to the NASDAQ. Not quite dipping to the 8, but catching on support again right near the 12.5% pullback. These 12.5% pullbacks are also very key. They're shallow pullbacks. We watch for retracement trades off of them. So finding some support right around the 58.48 level. Tomorrow on a continued rally, watch for 58.91 as first level of resistance. Then we're looking at the 59.33, 59.59, and 59.76 levels on the upside. If we do pull back, get to below 58.48, which will be first level of resistance, watch for about 58.36. Then very key level coming in about 58.23 to 24. If we break through that, 58.04 is next level. For some reason, we eventually have a bigger drop. We'd be watching for a retest of the bottom of the rotation zone and gain levels coming in about 57.65. Switching over to crude, speaking of big drops. Crude had a pretty substantial drop today. Let's see, down about 4.94%, almost 5% on the day. You see it rallied up. We got the declining rotation zone, just got through it, just got through the 8, and then dropped like a rock. So, through the end of our clear path and below the 75% gain level. On a continued downward move tomorrow, you're going to have some support coming in about 45.50, which is these two bottoms here. And then we'd be looking for the 45.12 to 45 level. Very key support. Rising trend line. Two different gain levels coming in there. So that's going to be critical support. If it does get through that, about 44.80 below that. And if it continues with another big down move tomorrow, we then don't have much until we can get to this 44 level to 43.76. On a rally back up, we're going to have some resistance at 46.15 to 46.25 area. If we get above that, it's going to be major resistance coming around this 46.85 area. We have multiple lows all in that area and prior highs. This is now a breakdown zone. For some reason, we were to get above that. Next key area is about 47.40 to 47.50. Then we return to the 47.90, declining 8. Over to gold. Gold on the day, pulling back, did not get through yesterday's highs. Closing just above the 1288 GAN level. So on a decline tomorrow, watch for some support about 1285. Then 1282. Then we'd be back to kissing the trend line goodbye. And the rising 8 coming in about 1279 to 1280. If that's broken, 1277. There's lots of support levels in here that could provide support to gold. On the upside, watch for some minor resistance coming in about 1293. Then we'll be looking for 1297. Then a retest of the highs, 1298.80. If we get through that, we'll be looking for 1300, then 1309. Finally, over to silver. Silver also pulling back today. Just exceeding slightly yesterday's lows and the day before's, but we have very strong support coming in at about the 1750 level. So that's going to be key support tomorrow. If we get through 1750, watch for about 1745. Then if that's broken, minor support coming at 1739. And then 1735 is the 50% gain level, which is very key support. If we were to fall through there, next major level down is about 1728. Rally back up. 1770 is first level of resistance. 1775 is next level. And if we get through that, we're looking at about 1790 to the upside, which is the end of the full clear path move from this trend line trade. That's all we have for you in this quick update. I'm turning it back over to you, Bob.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. New Money Path podcast will become obsolete very soon. Well, it won't be obsolete, but we'll have a new one coming out this weekend. So check it out if you haven't yet, and click like on this video if you like what we're doing. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching. We will talk to you in the next Pat Chat.